بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا. من يهد الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأن محمدا صلى الله عليه وسلم عبده ورسوله. قال الله تعالى: يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون. وقال الله: واتقوا الله الذي تساءلون به والأرحام إن الله كان عليكم رقيبا. وقال الله: اتقوا الله وقولوا قولا سديدا يصلح لكم أعمالكم ويغفر لكم ذنوبكم ومن يطع الله ورسوله فقد فاز فوزا عظيما. إن أصدق الحديث كتاب الله وأحسن الهدي هدي محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم وشر الأمور محدثاتها وكل محدثة بدعة وكل بدعة دلالة وكل دلالة في النار. Al-Fatiha, or the opening chapter. By universal consent, it is rightly placed at the beginning of the Quran as summing up in marvelous letters and comprehensive words man's relation to Allah in contemplation and prayer. In our spiritual contemplation, the first words should be those of praise. If the praise is from our inmost being, it brings us closer to Allah. Then our eyes see all good, peace and harmony. Evil, rebellion, and conflict are purged out. They do not exist for us, for our eyes are lifted up above them in praise. Then we see Allah's attributes better. Verse 2 and 4. This leads us to the attitude of worship and acknowledgement. Verse 5. And finally comes prayer for guidance and a contemplation of what guidance means. Verse 6 and 7. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. In the name of Allah, most gracious, most merciful. The Arabic word Rahman and Rahim, translated most gracious and most merciful, are both intensive forms referring to different aspects of Allah's attributes of mercy. The Arabic intensive is more suited to express Allah's attributes than the superlative degree in English. The latter implies a comparison with other beings or with other times or places, while there is no being like unto Allah. Mercy may imply pity, long-suffering, patience, and forgiveness, all of which the sinner needs, and Allah, most merciful, bestows in abundant measure. But there is a mercy that goes before even the need arises, the grace which is ever watchful and follows from Allah most gracious to all his creatures, protecting them, preserving them, guiding them, and leading them to clear light and higher light. Opinion is divided whether the Bismillah should be numbered as a separate verse or not. It is unanimously agreed that it is a part of the Quran in Surah An-Naml. Therefore, it is better to give it an independent number in the first surah. For subsequent surahs, it is treated as an introduction or headline and therefore not numbered. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Praise be to Allah, the cherisher and sustainer of the words. The Arabic word Rabb, usually translated Lord, has also the meaning of cherishing, sustaining, bringing to maturity. Allah cares for all the words He has created. Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim, most gracious, most merciful. Maliki Yawmiddin, Master of the Day of Judgment. إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين. We do worship you. On realizing in our souls Allah's love and care, His grace and mercy, and His power and justice as a ruler of the Day of Judgment, the immediate result is that we bend in the act of worship and see both our shortcomings and His all sufficient power. The empathic form means that not only do we reach the position of worshipping Allah and asking for His help, but we worship Him alone and ask for His aid only, for there is none other than He worthy of our devotion and able to help us. The plural we indicates that we associate ourselves with all who seek Allah, thus strengthening ourselves and strengthening them in a fellowship of faith. إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين. We do worship you and you aid or we seek. إياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم. Show us the straight path. If we translate by the English word guide, we shall have to say guide us to and in the straight way, for we may be wandering aimlessly, and the first step is to find the way, and the second need is to keep in the way. Our own wisdom may fail in either case. The straight way is often the narrow way or the steep way, which many people shun. By the words perversity, the straight way is sometimes stigmatized and the crooked way praised. How are we to judge? We must ask for Allah's guidance. With a little spiritual insight, we shall see which are the people who work in the light of Allah's grace and which are those who work in the darkness of wrath. This also would help our judgment. اهدنا الصراط المستقيم. Show us the straight way. صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. Amen. The way of those on whom you have bestowed your grace, those whose portion is not wrath and who don't go astray. Note that the words relating of to grace are connected actively with Allah. Those relating to wrath are impersonal. In the one case, Allah's mercy encompasses us beyond our deserts. In the other case, our own actions are responsible for the wrath, the negative of grace, peace, and harmony. For the word astray, note that there are two categories: those who are in the darkness of wrath and those who stray. The first are those who deliberately break Allah's law. The second, those who stray out of carelessness or negligence. Both are responsible for their own acts or omissions. In opposition to both are the people who are in the light of Allah's grace. For His grace not only protects them from active wrong, if they will only submit their will to Him, but also from straying into path of temptation and carelessness. The negative gear should be constructed as applying not to the way, but as describing men protecting from two dangers by Allah's grace. So that's the end of chapter 1. See you soon, inshallah.